Western Bulldogs were once known as Footscray, and in the 1960s, the Western Suburbs working class cheered for stars like Mr. Football Ted Whitten, Gentleman John Schiltz, who won a Brownlow medal, and Flying Merv Hobbs. But today we pick up the action at Windy Hill in 1964, where on display was some real Bulldog magic.
This is the start of the final quarter at Essendon, and there's the bounce in the centre. Schultz comes in, knocks the ball down against Sampson. Breaking away is Beisel, who's tackled by Whitten. The whistle goes, and the free kick against Teddy Whitten. This is the start of the final quarter as Beisel kicks the ball forward to the half-forward line for the Dons, and a good mark in defence for Footscray has been taken by Gillard. Essendon 11-8-74, lead Footscray 6-8-44 at this opening passage in the final quarter. The ball on the half-forward line for the Bulldogs, taken by Epis, whose kick is smothered as he's tackled by Bryant. The ball comes out in the direction of Duff. Duff gets it back to the half-forward line. Whitten is in there battling hard. Mackenzie picks it up for Footscray. He's tackled, loses the ball. Marsh it was who lost it then to Gosper. Gosper puts it forward to the half-forward line for Dons. Up goes Duff, and Duff takes the mark. 1 minute of play gone as Duff has the ball on the centre-half back position for Footscray. There's the kick to the half-forward line. Up goes Marsh, can't pull the ball down. It's picked up by Johnson of Footscray. Johnson kicks it in towards goal. And a goal it is for Johnson and to Footscray to make them 7 goals 8. Essendon 11 goals 8.
Well, Footscray's 19th of 20th men. One of them came on at half-time. That was Mackenzie. He immediately livened up the forward line, managed to kick 1 goal, but certainly created opportunities for other forwards. Now Johnson came on at three-quarter time. The game's been going for nearly 2 minutes, and Johnson has kicked a goal. The reserves have done better than most of the rest of the side. It's back to the centre now, and it's balled up, and Schultz goes up high. He gets the ball down towards Marsh. Marsh was tackled when he didn't have the ball, and will take the free kick right in the centre of the ground. Marsh now gathering the ball in. And here comes a punt kick. It doesn't give a forward much hope, and it's going to be all Essendon as Mackenzie comes in well in front of his man to take that mark. Mackenzie about the centre-half back position. The man on Mackenzie's mark was Frank Johnson, was trying to gain an extra couple of yards, but was spotted by the umpire. Mackenzie's kick is towards the centre. Schultz is there, but the mark has been taken for Essendon by Gosper. Schultz was just about a yard too late in arriving on the scene. Gosper's kick is out towards the flank. Oh, at the back it's Fraser. He's been supreme in the air today. Nobody, with the possible exception of Schultz, could challenge him in the air, and Footscray can't afford to take Schultz from the ruck. We see that mark by Fraser, that kick by Fraser, marked by Capuano, and he's put Capuano in a better position. Hasn't gained much ground, but he's certainly on a more direct route to goal. Oh, it's a beautiful kick too, right down towards the teeth of the goals. Schultz is there. The ball is punched away though. Johnny Burt's battling for Essendon, picked up there by Darcy and forwarded out into the open, giving Russell Blue a chance for Essendon. He comes in, he has his kick under pressure. It's a right foot run right down towards goals. Up went Capuano. In there is Burt, number 11. 19 is Greenwood. 26 is Walker. Burt picks up the ball. Oh, eludes beautifully both of his opponents. Finally gets tackled by Walker when he went for the bounce. Walker kicks off the ground. The ball rolls out towards and across the boundary line. Good and clever play by Johnny Burt, then, only he should have got his kick. There's a score, 74-50. 4 goals straight, the difference. Tapped down by Sampson. Kicked forward for Essendon, and up at the back, it's Greenwood, the fullback for Footscray, taking the mark over Rogers. Greenwood's kick is a high punt kick. It's covered plenty of distance. It's nearly towards the centre of the ground. Up high was Vasilaitis. He couldn't mark it. Down on the ground, it's Bissett beating Davis to the ball. He has one bounce. Tackled by Davis. Gets his kick in. Here's a chance for Johnson. Johnson, a replacement at three-quarter time, has been on the ground for 3 minutes, had 2 chances, and he's capitalised on one. He's kicked the left-foot goal. Now he's taken a mark, and he's only 50 yards out. A good kick could do this and put Footscray back in the fight. It's been going for 4 minutes in the last quarter. There's a kick. It's high, and it's not quite accurate, though. It's through for a point to make Footscray 7 goals 9. They're 3 goals 5 behind.
Footscray are winning in the air at the moment, except for the centre-half back position where Fraser's dominating, but this is helping to allow them to bring it right up to Essendon, right across the field.
As Doran kicking off at the 5-minute mark in the final quarter, the ball comes out in the direction of Bryant, who's grabbed whilst not in possession by Davis, and the free kick will go to Ian Bryant, the Footscray centre-man, who since half-time has given Footscray a lot of drive. Bryant is on the half-forward flank. Footscray are 51, Essendon are 74. Bryant about 50 yards from goal. Next to him is Smith, his teammate. And this is Ian Bryant kicking in towards the big sticks for the Footscray team. A good drop kick, a lovely kick, a beautiful one right through the centre, and it's a goal to the Bulldogs, kicked by Bryant. Footscray are 8 goals 9, Essendon 11 goals 8. Ian Bryant jubilant, as are the other Footscray players.
Footscray is aided by the breeze this quarter. Teddy Whitten must realise his team has got a chance.
There's the bounce in the centre. Mackenzie it is, tapping the ball forward. Picked up by Timms. Timms' tackle, loses the ball. The whistle goes. And what's happening here? A free kick to Ken Timms.
Well, what for? It should have been against Timms for holding onto the ball.
There's the kick by Timms, putting Essendon forward. The ball wide on the flank. Mitchell is there running in, number 31. Number 16 is Duff, the half-back flanker for Footscray, who can't take the ball. It bounces the wrong way. Mitchell is in there. He's tackled by Duff. Mitchell hooks the ball out. Kicked off the ground by Darcy. It comes to the centre wing position. A further kick off the ground puts the ball back onto the scoring zone, but Footscray clearing again. The ball comes back to the centre, and the mark is taken by Smith. Smith doesn't waste any time, kicks it forward to the half-forward line, and a safe mark in defence for Essendon, taken by Barry Davis. 7 minutes of play gone in the final quarter, and this is Davis on the half-back flank for the Dons. The ball comes down to his half-forward line. Up for the mark was Gosper, and it's Gosper's mark on this occasion. Gosper on the half-forward flank position right now as he kicks in. A good drop kick, beautiful one, right to full forward. Big pack flying from Rogers up high, appealing for the market's play on. He hooks it across to Johnny Burt. He's being tackled by Duff. Burt running around, a short pass back towards Fordham, and Fordham takes the mark. Ted Fordham has already kicked 3 goals for the Dons. This could be his 4th coming up. He's about 50 yards from goal, and he's having a long kick as he comes in. Dropping a little bit short as they fly. Schultz up very high there, and it's forced through for 1 point to the Dons. 11 goals 9 Essendon. Footscray 8 goals 9. Footscray fighting hard to get back into this game.
3 goals straight the difference. With about 18 minutes plus time on to go as Greenwood kicks off. A good kick too. No one can mark it. It's down on the ground. It's Bryant coming through. He's in front of Mackenzie, but Mackenzie had greater strength on that occasion. Got through, but then was met pretty heavily and has a free kick given against him, I think, perhaps for interference in the back to Ian Bryant. It's Bryant to take the free kick midway between the half-back and the centre line positions. Kick is a bit off the side of his boot. It's going to be Essendon, I think, as Davis and Fordham went together, with Davis winning out. Davis about on the centre line, putting Essendon right into attack with a beautiful kick. There's a lot of good kicks in the Essendon side. It's down on the ground, kicked off by Clark. Coming through there is Walker. He kicks the ball off, and it's across the line, and we'll see another throw-in. Our forward line, as we see Schultz and Timms doing battle. Schultz gets a knockdown, goes towards Burt. He lost it. It's a rather scrambly play, as you can see. Finally, Hobbs comes out. How, I'll never know, with the ball. He goes to the short pass towards Bryant. Finds him, although it wasn't a good pass. Bryant kicks the ball forward, and here's a chance of Vassilitis, and he marks, and he's got a chance now for Footscray, because another goal here will give them a lot of heart. He goes for the short pass. It's not a good one, though. Epus anticipated well and has marked right at the centre half-back position for Essendon. Alec Epus will go for the long kick and look for Ken Fraser for sure. This is exactly what he does. Fraser coming in from the side. He's up high. Schultz was with him on that occasion and nearly marked it. Coming through there is Hoyles. Can't get rid of the ball, and the decision will probably be a ball up having a bit of a wrestle, Jackie Clark and Johnny Hoyles. And a ball up is the decision. It's almost in the centre circle, this ball up. The bounce favours Schultz, but Duff knocks it away, knocks it down towards Bryant. Bryant forwards the ball. McGee is in a position to mark. He does so. He anticipated that ball a little bit better than Teddy Whitten and took an easy mark. McGee at centre half back. Kick by McGee. He's a delightful kick up towards Beisel. Beisel it is on this occasion. Fraser, I mean, on this occasion. Marking again. This must be his umpteenth mark for the match. He's limping slightly, Fraser, but it hasn't appeared to have worried him. His kick is a good one, looking for Rogers. Oh, and Rogers has brought it down. He held the cherry long enough. Fraser is in the hands of the trainer at the moment, having a look at the leg, but he doesn't appear unduly worried with it. A slight limp, but not over worried.
At the moment is going Footscray's way, to be taken by Duff. Duff is on the half-back flank. A drop kick down to the centre of the ground. Schultz is there. Over the top of him and higher still was Beisel, and it's Beisel's mark. Essendon to come forward again. The ball on their half-forward line now, and a mark to Footscray's wingman Smith. Smith on the half-back flank. A drop kick wide to the centre wing. Vosselitis in front of Davis again, and this boy's played very well. Vosselitis on the centre wing. Gets the ball forward along the flank position. Coming out is Johnson. The ball knocked away by Doran. In there it's Sampson, who gets the ball across to Clark. Clark runs around. A short pass now towards Davis on the flank position, and Davis can't retrieve the ball before it's over the line. In the out-of-bounds position on Footscray's half-forward line, Essendon lead 82-57. Sampson knocking the ball down beautifully to Johnny Burt, who puts the ball back to the centre, and it's marked over here for Footscray by Taylor. Drop kick by Taylor, down to full forward. There's Johnson leading out again, but waiting behind the pack was Mervyn Hobbs, and Hobbs has the ball well within kicking distance. Or maybe not so well within kicking distance. He's about 50 yards, a little bit more out from goal, but he's directly in front. It's a good kick, though, beautiful kick, going right to the 10-yard square. Up is McKenzie knocking the ball down. Doran takes it behind him, and it's through for 1 point. A point to Footscray.
Makes the difference of straight 4 goals with 15 minutes have been played in the last quarter. Here's a kick off by Doran. Up high is McKenzie to take a nice mark, and he's got a chance. He doesn't waste any time. He's going forward for Footscray. They can't waste time. Poor kick goes to Clark. Clark is tackled by Bissett, lost the ball. Bissett then gets clear, is grabbed by Timms. We're not in possession, and Bissett will get the free kick. Well, from all this flurry, Footscray haven't gained a yard from where McKenzie got the ball. In fact, they may have lost 1 or 2. Bissett is going to go for the long kick. Punt kick. Oh, it's a shocker. Off the side of his boot, going towards Davis. Got pushed in the back by Vosselitis, but Vosselitis got the ball, got it across to Smith. Smith gets the ball across to Whitten when he was in trouble. And a kick by Whitten is almost marked there by Coots. Coots balks it, turns around, handballs to Hobbs. He couldn't miss. It's a goal, and it's Merv Hobbs' third. Footscray now only 3 goals behind. Merv Hobbs has kicked 3 goals, but he must thank Rod Coots for that one. Well, can Footscray do it? Keith Dryman.
Well, Footscray are still throwing everything possible into this game. They're not letting up for one moment, but every time they score, we see Essendon return the effort and notch another major. They just can't get any closer than about within 2 goals of Essendon at the moment. However, we must admire them for the way in which they're continuing to take the game right up to Essendon, although they've been behind all day.
There's Teddy Whitten again inspiring his team and trying to lift them. This is what he's done all day, and he's certainly a great coach. His efforts on the field depict that, the way he endeavours to bring his young players into it all the time and to keep encouraging them. There's the bounce in the centre. Up is Schultz. Beautifully palms the ball down to Taylor. Taylor gets it to the half-forward line. Hobbs comes out, misses it this time. Coming through again is Hobbs. He tries to get it through to Coots. And there is Johnson also. Coming out with the ball is Vosselitis. The whistle is gone. Vosselitis is holding his head, and he'll get the free kick. A free kick to Vosselitis, the Footscray half-forward flanker, who is directly in front, about 40 yards out. And this goal, if it does come off, could be an interesting position now. It is a goal for Footscray, kicked by Vosselitis. and Footscray are 10 goals 10. Essendon 12-10. It's only 2 goals the difference.
Essendon seem to be tiring a little bit at the moment. The Footscray forwards are getting well in front of them now and making plenty of opportunities.
There's some excited Footscray fans urging their team on, as Teddy Whitten was too. It's 2 goals the difference, 82 to 72, and the ball is back in the centre with umpire Barry Gordian. Number 6 is Bissett 11 Burt, but it's 34 and Schultz, number 14, getting the tap down. Here's a chance for Footscray as Taylor comes in, but he's beaten on this occasion by Alec Epus. A bit stronger and a bit more experienced, and Epus gets a long kick, and it floats out on the almost on the half-forward line for Essendon. Davis, been spoken to by Jimmy Carstairs, the Essendon messenger there, probably telling him to keep a closer rein on Vassilitis. Here's a chance for Footscray as Bissett comes in and breaks away. He gets a high punt kick up towards the centre-forward position. Davis, oh, well, I suppose he could have marked it. He's certainly being paid the mark, and it's Davis at centre-half back. High kick out towards Timms. Timms is almost unattended, but coming there, seeing the kick in was Duff. He spoilt Timms, and the ball was carried across the boundary line then by Taylor. Still a chance for Footscray. The game has been going 19 minutes. Fraser has come off for Essendon in the vital stages of the game. Here's Hobbs marking for Footscray. Hobbs a good 55 yards out, and in the meantime Kenny Fraser, his ankle has played up on him, is coming off near the outer end of the ground. Here's Ken Fraser, but in the meantime it's Hobbs playing on. Foolish play. He's lost the ball as he was grabbed by David Shaw, and Merv Hobbs, trying to lift the side, did the wrong thing and will pay the penalty.
Our next game is Anzac Day 1983 at the MCG, where Footscray take on the might of the Richmond Football Club. The Dogs are coached by former Geelong plumber Bluey Hampshire, and Footscray are going for 4 on the trot, and the star of the day, Jimmy Edmund.
Footscray go into the final term at the MCG with a 12-point lead. Remembering, of course, they led by 60 points at the end of the first change in this game. But Richmond, slowly but surely, have fought their way back into the match. Strawn, a good mark. After looking lost in the first term, the Richmond defence is certainly tight. Out to the half-back flank, gathering no distance, but finding skipper Barry Rawlings, who transfers play towards Jess, who's been a winner. Now Rioli's at the back. Go Morris. It sits. He shoots. Taylor. Goal. Here come the Tigers. 6 points the margin. Morris kicks his third. And Richmond, who've been unable to catch Footscray all day, again are within striking distance to the tune of 1 kick.
Well, right throughout the third term, we witnessed Footscray answering with a goal every time Richmond got within 5 or 6 points. Which way will it go this time? Mark Lee, a dominant ruckman right throughout the game. Lee against Purser. Purser actually got the tap, but it came back, tapped out of the hands by McKenna. Tackle, got a hand pass in, well smothered though by Winton. It comes back to Rioli, puts it forward. Bartlett's there, a nice mark across the half-forward line. Kevin Bartlett should put the ball forward while there's only one out against with the Taylor. Taylor gave the lead, gives it again. Bartlett looks for him and finds him. Michael Taylor. Brian Taylor. We have had a bit of football. So it's Brian Taylor. 35 metres out from goal. There's the angle. Can he level the scores? He hooks it, and it's 5 points the margin between the sides as Brian Taylor kicks 2 goals for the game so far. Keller to bring the ball back into play for Footscray. Long kick. Could easily be a free kick to Footscray, as we saw Landy give his opponent, Ian Williams, a shove. And Williams now. Another long kick, but it's all the Tigers, and Philip Egan takes a nice mark. Comes around the centre wing. Steady. long towards half forward. Roach up high, Jess is there. Jess brought the ball down, but it's called play on by the umpire. The loose ball comes out, free kick goes away of Purser. He handballs out straight away to Cordy, Brian Cordy that is. He gives it wide, and it's Burton of Footscray who drives it out towards the half-forward line. Shan in the front position, couldn't take the mark, but he'll get the free kick anyway. Plays on, gets another push in the back. So, free kick, 1, 2 or 3, whatever you like. And it'll be Wayne Shan to take the free kick. Coming up towards centre wing. The left foot kick. Jess is the player he's looking for. Tried to hook the ball over the back. Bartlett takes it, gets a hand pass out towards Welsh. Welsh will give it back to Rioli. Rioli drives it long. Taylor at the back. Up high. Taylor can't hold the mark. In fact, it's over the boundary line, and throw-in will take place in the forward pocket, 5 metres around from the behind post. Richmond 5 points down on Footscray, trailed by 60 points at quarter time, 19 at three-quarter time, and it was at half-time, I should say, and 12 at three-quarter time.
The throw-in. Can the Tigers hit the front with a goal here? Right on the boundary line then was Stephen Lunn, and in fact over he went. So another throw-in. Richmond's right forward pocket. In front of this great crowd, followers of both sides have experienced the highs and lows of football today, particularly in the first term. Roach tried to pluck it out of the air. Morris, the wizard, couldn't get out that time, and Wisher has to be content to hand it over for a ball up. Right on the edge of the square. Back it comes towards Kellett and Jess, through them both. Rawlings. Dummies. Back to Jess. The Ghost can shoot. A long kick by Jimmy. A great kick by Jimmy. And the Tigers hit the front. First time in this game. It hasn't been too many times this season. But Richmond are in front, 15-12 to 16-5 on Seven's big lead.
Well, it may well be justice that the man who kicked the goal to put them in front was the man who sparked the revival.
Centre bounce once again. Can Footscray reply? They've been able to on most occasions, but it's Lee who takes it out of the air across to Rawlings. Rawlings now has his teammates running, uses them. Here's another long kick in towards full forward, off target, however, and in fact, well off target, out of bounds on the full from Michael Rolfe, who had a very good third term, and so the Dogs a chance to breathe momentarily as Perrin from the back pocket, drifting play around the outer flank here at the MCG, and Steve Wallace, after running his full distance, long to half forward. Edmund was caught at the back. Should be a free kick to Footscray, the player on the bottom. It's not, as Morris Rioli wanders past, and Ian Williams has got to get up and be content with a bounce. Just forward of centre. Williams plucks it out of the air, gives it to Wallace. To half forward, here's a chance for Edmund again. Has the player running, uses him. Now Footscray certainly need a goal. The kick in towards goal is a beauty. Kicked by Chris Burton, the interchange player who came onto the ground. And once again, Jimmy Edmund features in a goal, and Footscray are able to reply. 17-5 to 15-12.
Yes, well, already this year we've witnessed somewhat comebacks by Footscray under pressure against Carlton, against Hawthorn. They've really done it well. Mark Lee, Andrew Purser. McKenna, back towards centre half forward. Edmund, the player, called play on. Winton puts it out towards centre wing. Rolfe's coming out to give a hand pass over the top to Rawlings. Rawlings now, a long hand pass to Waitman. Waitman over the top to Jess. Punched away by Kennedy, good play by Kennedy. Egan runs straight into trouble, gets the hand pass, and Jimmy Jess is in trouble. Well, it's actually penalised Footscray, that free kick. Footscray were off and running, but it's back now with Kennedy. Kennedy long towards the centre. No mark taken, but it's a free kick. Free kick going the way of Rod McPherson. He plays on now. Bad defence there by Richmond as we see McPherson taking the ball away off the hands of the pack. Strawn brilliantly, comes away with the ball, has the bounce, steadies, puts it long towards Jess at the half forward, and Jess takes the mark. Jimmy Jess, wide on the half forward flank, outer side of the ground, 70 metres from goal. Jess, the long kick. Roach. And Roach brings it down, no mark, it's called play on. Hanson gets a hand pass over the top, knocked on by Egan, taken by Brian Cordy, back towards Rawlings, but it's a kick upfield. Foolish play by the Tigers because it was in the arms of Rawlings. Comes across to Wallace, a fine player in the centre. Wallace has a streak. Comes to the centre, a long hand pass over the top to Sewell. Tackled, loses possession. Wallace comes back again. Can't get the ball clear, and the umpire having no option but to bounce the ball right on the centre square line.
5 points the margin, favouring Footscray. Superb kicking for goal, 17-5 to 15-12. Lee plucks it out of the air, sets up the handball to Shand, then does the heavy shepherding work. To the half-forward line once again, Roach coming out to meet it. In he goes very strongly, solidly met by Egan. Purser, the long handball back, looking for Egan once again, but it's Burton there. Now towards Egan. A handball towards centre wing, beautifully tapped over the top to Burton. That was done by Rod McPherson. Burton's kick up towards full forward. Beasley will set himself. Well spoiled by Kane towards the boundary line. Jimmy Edmund tries to keep it in, does so for a couple of metres, but eventually it goes over. And a throw in Footscray's right forward pocket. They lead by 5 points, just over 9 minutes played, and nothing in this game. Lee. The handball out the back door is good football, and away come the Tigers. Through Winton to Jimmy Jess, who's been inspirational, particularly since quarter time. Down towards Taylor and Hanson. Taylor always having a tendency to lean into his opposition while he got caught, but goes after it again. Throws it out eventually. In towards the centre it goes. Look at big Andrew Purser. Great agility. Sets up the handball. Away go the Dogs once again. Another one towards Edmund. He's in trouble. Back it goes towards Kellett. What's he doing down at half-back? He's going to shoot for goal.
Mark Kellett being told what to do by Simon Beasley. Mark Kellett would not have kicked too many goals in league football. He's played most of his football in defence, both at St Kilda and here at Footscray. And what a vital kick. 5 points, the margin held by Footscray at the moment, as Mark Kellett from 35 metres out has hooked the ball. And 1 point the result to make it 6 points. The margin, the gap held by Footscray at the present moment. Craig Barr. Straight up the centre of the ground. Jimmy Jess, the player he's looking for. Once again, Jess takes the mark. A great game. Puts himself in trouble. Comes back onto the left foot. Welsh is his player he's looking for. Gets into the back of Brian Cordy and gives away a foolish free kick. Brian Cordy, centre wing. Kick number 16 for Brian Cordy. Too high. Comes off the hands of Sewell, taken by Greg Strawn. Up high as Roach. Good effort to mark. It has been paid, either the mark or the free kick, either way. And Michael Roach with the ball on half forward. Puts it up high. Taylor in the front position. No mark. It comes towards Wiley. Dumps it back into the goal square. And the free kick has gone the way of Footscray, and we'll find Perrin. Perrin has the loose man in Wallace. Wallace thought about playing on. Coming in was Rawlings. Gives away a deliberate 15 metres, and there's nothing wrong with that because they were off and running because he had two players to hand pass to. Wallace now from half-back in towards the centre. And a beautiful mark at the back by Royal. Brian Royal.
Kellett coming off, limping off.
Gets it forward towards Edmund. Strawn's there. Held but not in possession of the ball, and Greg Strawn will take the kick.
Strawn on the half-back flank. Jimmy Edmund holding up proceedings. Groenewagen back on the ground, and he could just about get a touch here as he goes for it with Jimmy Jess. Jess flicks it back to keep it into David Palm. Across to Lee. The general lumbers away. Floats one up towards half forward. Players having trouble with the sun here today at the moment. And eventually it's Burton who receives at centre wing. Kick coming from Cordy to the half forward line. Shand in front, and tackling a little too high then was Jimmy Sewell going for that ball, and so Wayne Shand on the defensive side of centre wing. 6 points the difference, favouring the Dogs. To the centre of the ground. Roach couldn't do it with the one hand. Socket off the ground. Winton. Beautifully stolen. Beautifully stolen by Steve McPherson. To Beasley. Has kicked 2. And the chance once again to open up the 12-point break. Bartlett coming off the ground for Richmond. And Mervyn Kane back on. But we're with this man. 40 metres out, directly in front. That slightly stammered approach. The umpire did not move. And the Dogs are back in front by 12 points. Beasley has kicked 3 and Footscray 18-6, leading Richmond 15-12 on sevens. Big lead.
Once again, evidence of the fighting qualities of this Bulldog side. Every time the Tigers look to be getting on top, back again come Footscray. As usual, Purser and Lee. Both players must be superbly fit because they have not been off the ball all day. Lee up high, gets it down, knocked on by Waiton across to Rawlings, out to Rolfe. Rolfe goes for the short pass. Taylor, a lovely pass from young Rolfe, and Brian Taylor with the opportunity of kicking his 3rd goal and making the margin between the sides 1 goal again. It's 12 points at the present moment. We're 14 minutes, almost 15 minutes into the final term. Taylor, 25 metres out. His kick goes forward. And there's Taylor's 3rd goal. So once again, it's only one straight kick between the sides. 108 to 114.
Goal for goal, and it has been really since quarter time after Footscray shot away to that 10-goal lead. But a great comeback by Richmond, and now Footscray showing their great fight. We said the fighting qualities, the test of courage and character would come out in this final term, and they certainly are. 6 points the difference. 15.5 minutes played. Final term, Lee and Purser. The bounce that favours Purser puts it straight down the throat of Steve Wallace, who gets a hurried kick towards the half-forward line. Royal couldn't control it at the first attempt, but followed it up beautifully. Gets away from Morris Rioli, flicks one up towards the half-forward line. Landy is there, but the bounce is heading straight towards the white line. Over it goes, and the throw-in to take place. Very good crowd here. In fact, I doubt whether Footscray have played in front of a crowd this size for some time. Lee and Groenewegen will go with the general. Flicked out eventually. Great desperation and determination being shown by players on both sides as Landy and Groenewegen struggle for that ball, and we'll have another bounce. It's on the Dogs' half-forward line. They lead by 6 points. Lee with the greater height to Rawlings. Picked up plenty of kicks to half-forward. Now, what's the bounce going to do? McKenna has the opportunity. He's got Kennedy there. Rick Kennedy. Short, Jess, Purser, and also Perrin. Swings play around. Looking for Sewell. Finding him. Oh, they've got a panic to roam in Footscray here. Short to the half-forward line. The mark taken by McPherson. Over the top he goes to Jimmy Edmund. Jimmy will shoot towards goal. The long kick floating in towards full forward. They're up! And it was touched. But it could turn out to be a very handy point. 7 points now the margin. And Barr to come back into play. Strawn. back pocket. 7-point break to Footscray. Roach and Kennedy, the latter spoiling. Egan taken to the ground. It was held, and he had no way of getting rid of that football.
So the bounce to take place right in front of the members' stand. Centre wing. A big pack of players around the ball. Williams got the tap. Rod McPherson's first on the scene. Puts it down towards Steve McPherson, who couldn't take the mark. Strawn coming away, takes it, does it well. Picked up by Landy. Landy's high kick towards half forward. Roach coming out, stumped away by Egan. Burton will with the free kick, as he was held, we're not in possession of the ball, and so Burton will take the kick, a 15-metre penalty. Egan down behind play.
Graham.
As Burton puts it high, down towards half forward. No mark to Groenewagen. Shan comes out with the ball. The left foot kick up towards centre wing. Burton's first on the scene. Puts it back. It's too high there for Winton. Strawn coming out. Gets a bad bounce. He gets good support, though, from Rawlings. Not knowing which way to go. Now comes back with the left foot up towards the centre wing. Up high is Rich Jess. Thumps it on. First on the scene for Richmond is Palm. Should be a free kick because it was in the back. Egan handballing it out, but the free kick had already been paid to David Palm. So from centre wing, Palm will go towards centre half forward. It's dropping short for Welsh. No mark, it's called play on. Could easily have been a free kick. Hanson taps the ball back. Rioli's there, couldn't gain it. Underneath the pack, Little McKenna, and a bounce to take place right on the centre square line, which is about 65 metres out from the Richmond goal.
And isn't it great, Bobby, to see a battle royal like this one going on? Tremendous tussle. Purser won that tap. Landy over the top, but no one able to get it away. So we'll have another ball up. 19.5 minutes played. Lee trying to farm it down towards a smaller brigade. They're going in like terriers. Woosher waited out. The long handball was a bad one too, set up for Wiley, and he's going to be under plenty of pressure because Stephen Lund's first to the football. With handball, they're out of trouble once again. To centre wing, 3 of them there, and Ian Williams decides to take it. Plays on, swings around away from Landy to the half-forward line. Edmund keeps the ball in play. Beautiful play by Jimmy Edmund. Puts in the pass to Beasley. Can't complete it with a one grab. Rawlings goes steaming through, and the Richmond captain takes his side out of trouble. From the back pocket, hooking one towards Flea Wakeman, who takes the mark on the half-back flank. Now it's Richmond's turn to go running as they make the interchange. Wall comes back on. Welsh leaves the ground, and Hanson comes out in front of Taylor to take the mark.
So Chris Hanson goes out wide, looking for Purser on the wing. Purser takes the juggling mark. Steadying play down for the moment. 20 minutes have gone, so probably around about 10 minutes left to play as Andrew Purser with the ball on centre wing. Comes straight across the ground. Burton left unattended. Taking the mark, he's in the centre of the ground now. And Burton having 9 kicks so far in this quarter. Shan gets a push in the back, and he'll temporarily relieve the pressure, put the Tigers back towards, or back on their forward area of the ground. Short pass towards the wing. Roach diving, takes the mark. Michael Roach. Cross towards centre half forward. Taylor coming out in the front position. It's stumped away. A quick hand pass across the Sewell. Kennedy, a great mark, showing real courage. Towards centre half forward. Edmund at the back with a beautiful mark by Strawn. Chipped it onto Edmund after he kicked 4 or 5 goals, and he's done a fine job to contain Edmund to a certain extent. As Jimmy Jess, a great player for the Tigers, puts it long down to the forward pocket area. Thumped away by Hanson. Taken again by Burton. Burton's long kick up towards the centre wing. Rawlings comes out, punches it away from McPherson. Rawlings goes over it again. Steve McPherson comes in. He's near the boundary line, pushed in the back almost, and he will take the free kick. Hand passes straight away to his brother Rod. On to McKenna. McKenna now towards centre half forward. The kick wobbles forward. Beasley up high, but another great mark for the Tigers. It's called play on. Baum brought the ball down. The umpire deciding it wasn't a mark at all.
22.5 minutes played. Final term. 7 points the margin, favouring the Dogs. Oh, they all fall down. First to recover was Ian Williams, shoved in the back or holding the ball. It's the latter decision. Landy to take it, onto the general. Richmond need a score. To half forward. First to this will be Sewell in front. Richmond fans not liking that decision, but he has the football. Puts it out towards centre wing where Steve Wallace is roaming. Has time to draw away. Up towards the half-forward flank at the back is Beasley. Not a favourable bounce, and it's taken over the line for a throw-in. 16-12 to 18-7, 23 and a quarter minutes played. Final term. Lee front position, palms it down beautifully, and away goes Egan. In towards the centre. The mark taken there for Richmond by David Palm, the former Norwood in South Australia and West Australian player. Up towards the half-forward line once again. Taylor's come a long way out. Hanson just pokes the fist through and gets the spoil effective. Kennedy tried to get the handball away. The umpire comes in as it stacks on the mill. Mervyn Kane at the bottom and another bounce. 23 and a half minutes gone. Won't be a great deal of time on in this term. But the Dogs at the moment really showing courage and character. Chan the spoiler, pushing it well down into their forward region. Richmond desperate for a goal, but they're not going to get it. It's play like this through Steve McPherson that's stopping them. Well done, Stephen. Back towards the centre of the ground once again. Williams flies over the top. Rioli waits down. The Wizard gets caught, but he gets the handball away. Aerial ping-pong now as it's stumped forward. Rioli in over the top once again. Out comes Morris, setting up the handball again. Here's a chance now, the beautiful smother, however, and it's Footscray out of trouble. The kick coming from Cordy towards centre wing. The mark taken. Palm fumbles. Has he got time to recover? No, because McPherson goes in over the top, and they're all in over the top. And we'll see another bounce. Well, Bobby, they're really showing their colours. Great courage.
Both sides are at the moment. There's a lot of mistakes being made, but they're all being made with endeavour. Wonderful endeavour by both sides as Purser puts it back over the top. Diving in there is Royal. Gets a hand pass out. Winton traps it beautifully. The left foot kick up towards Roach. He takes the lovely mark. Michael Roach. 60 metres out from goal.
Into time on. Final term.
So Roach, very deliberate. A long way from goal. The kick's offline. Taylor's in front. Over the back, though, it comes. Lunn leads in the race for the ball. Thumps it on, but not before the boundary line. And so we'll find a throw-in to take place. Forward pocket for the Tigers. Time on left to play, as Sandy has just told us. And Footscray holding a 7-point advantage. Tap down, taken by Waitman. Tackled high, but called play on. Desperate footballers. Royal comes out with it for Footscray. Drives it out towards the half-back flank. Shan leading in the race for the ball. Can he tap it back? Gets a quick hand pass towards Roach. Onto Wall. Wall straightens up. Hooks it towards half-forward. Mervyn Kane at the back. Can't take it from behind, though. And a great mark to Michael Egan.
Egan showing great courage. Was cramped earlier in the quarter and appears to be in strife again. But he gets the handball away to Hanson, who's almost down to the centre. Chris wobbles a kick across that centre region. A chance for the Bulldogs once again. They both go to ground. And we'll see a bounce at centre wing. 7 points the margin. Into time on. And Philip Egan getting up off the turf, waiting for this bounce. Richmond desperately needing a goal. Lee coming in to get front spot. Pushing it down towards Egan, who got the handball away. Now the opportunity for the Tigers. Up towards Roach. Kennedy is there. Purser over the back. Does it well. The Footscray defence has been outstanding in this quarter. They've been able to repel the attacks as Cordy takes the mark at centre wing. He's got the player running past. Uses him too in the form of Lunn. He's under pressure though. Caught. Play on is the call. Another one. Out it comes to Cordy again. He gets a kick this time. Hooking it back to half forward. Edmund is there. Doesn't get a good bounce. Groenewegen taps it forward. He was looking for Burton. But eventually it's Edmund who snaps towards goal. He's well off target and it goes out of bounds on the full.
Craig Baum, the Richmond full-back. Desperately wanting to get the ball back in a hurry because they're still 7 points down. 7 points down. 27 minutes have gone. As Baum brings the ball up, looking for Mark Lee. Purser from behind, got into the back of Lee, but recovers well, Purser. Steadies, now the left foot kick, wobbles towards the half-forward line. And coming out was Strawn, couldn't take the mark. Williams dives in after it. Players desperately as Beasley comes out with it, loses it. Crawling on his hands and knees was Barn. Couldn't come out of pushing the back to Beasley. This may be the one to set things up as Beasley within kicking distance. He's only 35 metres out from goal. Beasley has kicked 3 goals, Simon Beasley. And the former Western Australian, now Footscray full forward. Can he seal this game for Footscray? 7 points. It's 18-7, 115 to Richmond, 16-12, 108. Simon Beasley. Footscray fans await with bated breath, I'm sure. And Simon Beasley taking all the time that he likes. Puts it forward, is offline, and it's 8 points. The margin now held by the Footscray side. Beasley taking his personal tally to 3 goals, 3. And there it is, 16-12, 18-8. Richmond desperately need to get the ball straight up the ground, moving in a hurry as Baum looks for Philip Egan. Wallace at the back, couldn't take the mark, but recovers well. Breaks past the tackle, swings the ball towards the half-forward line. Rawlings is in front and takes a nice mark. Barry Rawlings. Hand passes on straight away. Landy coming through. Puts the wobbly kick forward. Mervyn Kane takes it. Kane, 15-metre penalty will go against Lund, but I feel that Kane was going to hand pass anyway. So now Mervyn Kane must get the ball forward in a hurry. There's the siren! Footscray running out winners as Kane puts the ball through. Full points, and Footscray have won by 2 solitary points, but it's 4 points nonetheless. There's the board. 17-12, 114 with Footscray, 18-8, 116.
We move on to the 1985 final series, and Footscray played in the first semi against North Melbourne before a crowd of 56,000. The Dogs were coached by former Ballarat boy Mighty Mick Malthouse, and Doug Hawkins continually tells me it was his day. Doug, I've got to agree with you. 25 kicks, 11 marks and 13 hand passes. Footscray in full flight.
The final quarter of football for one of these sides for season 1985. The first semi-final, North Melbourne and Footscray. Footscray leading by 25 points after they led by 3 points at half-time. Knock on by Gronewegan. Picked up for North Melbourne by Hodgman it was. Mark taken by Glendinning. Now can he make amends for missing that one at the end of the third quarter? A long shot by the Brownlow medalist into the square. Arsieri just not tall enough. He grabs it off the hands of Cordy, but it dribbles through for only 1 point. And so 24 points the difference now. 100-76. Brad Hardy. Short pass to Hawkins. In fact, it's a little bit too short. Hawkins just about best man on the ground. Now he has to come back and they'll do it all again. Runs right across goal. Disposal today has been excellent. That was no exception. Footscray fans looking for a 15-metre penalty, but the umpire says no, sir. Clean onto Foster. Foster on centre wing. Long ball up to half forward, knocked away by Sewell. Ball very close to the boundary line. Will it prop just inside? No, it's out. Laura's content to take it over the line, and it will be a boundary throw-in about 35 metres from goal. McDonald and Sewell. Knocked away by McDonald, picked up by Daniels, offloaded by Demetriou. Taken by Law. Gee, that was just about a throw. Hodgman a chance to pick it up. Now Law again, looking for a hand pass, can't find one. Gronewegan, just about a fresh air shot. Sewell. Royal. Long ball, that could be a score. That's a go, I think, just what North didn't need. And Royal puts it through for his third. Footscray looking good at the moment to increase their lead to 30 points. 106-76 at the MCG.
So that's certainly the one that North Melbourne did not want as Gronewegan gets the ball out. A lovely hand pass from Sewell and an equally good goal from Brian Royal. So 3 goals to Brian Royal, and Footscray, they got that goal because they applied pressure to the North Melbourne defence and just didn't allow the ball to come easily out of the forward line.
Well, a big crowd here today, 56,000 people, and just on the 2.5-minute mark, it's 30 points the difference. It's well knocked on by Gronewegan. Umpire called play on Roy with a hand pass coming over to Edmund. This could be another goal coming up. It is. That's another goal. So they're 36 points in front. And Footscray running wild and looking good for the preliminary final now for 1985. 16-16, 112 for North Melbourne. 11-10, 76, I should say.
Yes, good play by Royal, but just before that there was a beautiful tap on from the centre, and it was excellent play to allow Royal to come through. Edmund finishing off that goal, with a goal, and so 2 goals and a great start for the Bulldogs.
Footscray kicking 2 goals within 3 minutes of this start of this last quarter. Ball knocked out again by Purser, dominating the centre bounces. Bit of a fumble going on there, a missed kick that time by Daniels, picked up by Mail, and he's played a real good game here today. Been a very handy play. It's a beautiful pass out there to Wallace on his own. Over to Royal. Royal coming back into this game now since half-time. As he straightens up, drives a long kick up there looking for Beasley. And could it be a mark to McCann? Let's see what the umpire's paying. Yes, he's paying the mark to McCann down there at full back. They're in the hot seat now, North Melbourne, 36 points down the drain. Short pass coming out wide to Demetrio on his own at half-back. They badly need a goal now as he drops the ball short towards their half-forward line. That's a strong mark by Foster. He's had a bit of trouble handling Glendenning, but Glendenning missing that very vital kick just on the siren time to end the third quarter. Would have made the difference, 18 points. Would have given North a real fighting chance. Royal again. He's well collared that time by Larkin. The umpire said throw in the ball, and Larkin will take the free kick at centre half-back. Just over the 4-minute mark, and at 16-16, 112 Footscray to North Melbourne at 11-10, 76.
Larkin from centre field, driving North Melbourne forward, trying to find Glendenning. McPherson got 2 hands to it, picked up by Cracker, fires it out to Spargo. The youngster has a shot at goal. They need one here badly, and he's put through his first goal in senior football. 4.5 minutes into the final quarter. North Melbourne still with hope. 16-16 to 12-10.
Well, it's only 30 points, Bob. I know, but on Footscray's form, they look as though they're going to win it. But North, we know the fighting quality, the way these young fellas fight back.
Well, they've done it time and time again throughout the year, Lou, but I suppose sooner or later there's got to become a time when you just cannot come back from the dead, as one might say. But, you know, in this situation, it's very, very hard to see North bridging the gap.
5 goals the difference, 16-16 to 12-10. 112 plays 82, just past the 5-minute mark of the final quarter in the first semi-final. 56,112 people here watching the action this afternoon in ideal conditions. Knocked down by McDonald, Dwyer and Hawkins. Hawkins wins out, as he has done most of the day. Wallace, long, up towards half-forward, knocked away by Keith Gregg in his 300th game. Royal let that one go for a teammate, but it's Dwyer for North Melbourne, scoops it out, he's given it straight to Sewell. Sewell breaks one tackle from Gregg, tries to get around Holt, gets it back to Wallace. Spiral punt kick up towards Bandlet, over the boundary line, throw in right forward pocket for Footscray. Luckily for the Bulldogs, they haven't got any other injuries. Started the first quarter, and they lost Ford very quickly, and also Kellett. But as I said, no further injuries, and they're doing it well. Groneweger off the ground. At the back for North Melbourne is Crocker. Skips over at the crucial moment. Bandit the chance. Ever the opportunist. Comes out with the ball close to the boundary line. He can kick this one. Not so. 1 point. Making the difference 31 points. 113 to 82. 16-17 to 12-10. It's looking like a Footscray Hawthorn preliminary final. McCann to the outer side. Big pack of players. Malin is the one waiting down. Hawkins again up to Royal. And Royal, as you said, Lewis played a good game after half-time.
So was Malin, played a great game too.
Let's watch that again.
The disposal of Hawkins has been magnificent.
It was a top game last week. Actually, probably played even better today. Brian Royal has kicked 3 goals so far. He's a good long kick as a rule, this Footscray Rover. That's certainly no exception, but the accuracy isn't there. Only 1 point. And Footscray, remember, kicked 5 goals, 8 in the third quarter. 114 to 82, just past the 7-minute mark of the term.
32 points the difference. We're waiting now for the ball to come back into play. Ball grabbed here by Smith, short of half back. North Melbourne have got to get a goal here pretty quickly to be back in this ball game, because it's gradually slipping away as Hawkins screams away from the pack. As we said before, he played the game of his life today. Over to Mail, back to Hawkins again. This looks dangerous. He boots the ball high up there towards looking for Beasley, but punched through that time by Beasley, I think, and went through for a point. So just on the 8-minute mark, 115 plays 82. That makes the difference 33 points. Short kick by Crocker. Crocker goes for a short pass, looking for Demetrio. Couldn't grab that mark. Finally punches it away, and it's out of bounds on that half-forward line for Footscray, about 55 metres around from their goal. But they've got play bottled up down there in their attacking zone, so this makes it very difficult for North Melbourne. As long as it's down there, North Melbourne have got no chance of scoring. Well intercepted by Daniels. A hurried kick up there to Beasley. Got the mark, as he knew. The umpire said plan as it hit the deck. Picked up by Greg, but he takes the ball over the line and out of bounds. Well, he scooped it up. Have a chance to kick goal number 7, of course. He's kicked 101 for the season. There's the mark. Slipped out at the last moment. Ball back into play again. Grabbed by Sewell. He's attacked immediately by Smith and McDonald, but the umpire will ball it up about 15 metres out from the Footscray goal. There are 114 points to North Melbourne, 82. Just on the 9-minute mark of this last quarter, the first semi-final for 1985, and the ball out of bounds again. So this is certainly suiting Footscray, Bob.
Yes, I think they're in complete control really at the moment. Their back line tight, and North having a lot of trouble getting it into their forward area.
Sewell again grabs that one, but it's grabbed by Royals. It ricochets off the pack. A snap at goal. This could be through. It is. And that's the end of the ball game for North Melbourne for 1985. That's goal number 4 for Royal. It's 17-19, 121 Footscray for North Melbourne, 12-10-82.
It's Royal's second goal for the quarter. An excellent piece of roving and a beautiful snap. And Brian Royal there when you need him.
4 goals to Royal, 2 this quarter, as Bob said, 6 to Beasley and 2 to Edmund, the major contributors for Footscray. A performance that will get them into the preliminary final next week against Hawthorn at VFL Park. 39 points the difference now as we approach the 10-minute mark of the final term. North Melbourne swinging to attack through Larkin with long ball. Not Larkin, it was Holt. Hardy. Daniels takes the grab, left half-back flank.
A few possessions today too, hasn't he?
Well, I'll say he has.
18th kick coming up for Alan Daniels. In fact, he decides to go for one. He does. Spiral punt kick to half forward, covering a good 50 metres. Edmund got a little bit underneath the ball, picked up by Larkin. Larkin a short pass, finds Hodgman on centre wing. Hodgman not appreciating the attention he got from Malin by Glenn James, awarding a 15-minute penalty. I don't think that'll worry Malin at all. Scoreboard in the background there, a sorry sight for the Kangaroos at the moment, after it was anybody's game at half-time. Glendinning trying to find Spargo by tapping it down. It goes to Cordy. Out to Jim Cracker on the edge of the square. Wobbly punt kick. Kennedy in the road for Footscray. Stands his ground well, marks in front of Fairley. Goes right across goal towards the outer side. Dwyer got 2 hands to it. Wallace recovers first. Ducks the head. McPherson and Phil Cracker. Decision, the play on call. Hardy, Brian Cordy. Brian Cordy short of the right centre wing position, goes for a short pass. Who's he looking for at half forward? Perhaps trying to find Sewell. Bandit, when he rode this one well, he does. Gets clear of Crocker, shoots at goal. Off target, 1 point to Bandit. He's kicked 1 goal, 3 now, Bandit's, but it does make the difference. 40 points, 17-20 to 12-10, 122 to 82 as McCann will kick the ball back into play. North Melbourne need a few more Steve McCanns. As I mentioned, he started at full forward, had to go to full back after Beasley was playing well, and that's where he still is at the moment. Knocked down by McDonald. Royal is there for Footscray. Has kicked 4 goals. Footscray Rovers played a great game. Short pass to another rover in Bahaja off the ground. Royal free kick going North Melbourne's way. And it will be taken by Jimmy Cracker. Jimmy's gone for a short pass, and he finds Siri at right half-back flank.
Now the series kickers over that half-forward line. A chance for Glendinning to mark it. He went up one-handed. Foster tries to get it clear. Glendinning having a go too, but the umpire will ball it up about 70 metres out from the North Melbourne goal. Just over 12 minutes gone of this last quarter, and it's 40 points the difference. The North Melbourne Brains Trust not looking too happy there, and I don't blame them. But there's no doubt, Bob, they'll lack manpower as far as the marking's concerned here today.
It's right around the ground, they have to.
Okay, there's a free kick. It'll go to North Melbourne. Back it goes to Crocker. Short pass. It's okay and marked here by Larkin. Larkin started off very well the first half of the game, but I think he faded out a bit after half-time, and that's been one of the reasons why they haven't been getting the ball away from the centre too. Oh, there's a great mark. Just about that time to McPherson, but the umpire said no grab. Chance for Cracker. That's Phil Cracker spinning out of the pack, gives a hand pass out to his brother, intercepted by Holt. Holt straightens up, usually a long kick. That is a long kick, and he may have got a goal here. Yes, he has. That's 34 points the difference. And that's asking too much for North Melbourne to come back, I would say, Bob.
Yes, I believe so, Lou, but they're still in there, really trying their darndest right throughout. There's a lovely hand pass. I think it was actually meant for his brother Jim. And it matters not to North Melbourne because a nice goal by John Holt. And it keeps them in there, well, somewhat in touch, but there's still a long way to go.
13.5 minutes gone of this last quarter. 34 points the difference. Let's see whether North Melbourne can get a quick goal, but Person knocks that one out. There's Malin again at centre-half forward. A long shot at goal. Will it come around enough? No, it's off target and through for 1 point. So the difference now 35 points. 17-21, 123 for North Melbourne. 13-10-88. We wait now for McCann to bring the ball back into play. He's gone for a short pass. It'll be okay. Marked here by Smith down there in the back pocket for North Melbourne. Oh, shocking kick. They're making some woeful mistakes down there. It was a good smother by Jim Edmund, but he should have gone back further to clear Edmund. He's blaming the sun now. Oh, that's a good excuse, I would say.
Hasn't seen it for a while.
That's right. Ball back into play again. McDonald in the front posse. Sewell's there too. Knocked out by McDonald. There'll be a free kick now. The umpire Smith appealing for one of his band. There's a pot shot at goal. Doesn't make the distance. Sewell only grabbed that mark. And the umpire said it's out of bounds right against the Footscray point post. And the difference 35 points in favour of the Bulldogs just on the 15-minute mark of this last quarter.
Sewell and McDonald to contest the boundary throw-in. Picked up by Royal. Gets tackled pretty quickly. Malin gathering a million kicks in the second half of the match. The hand passes on the Wallace. Good tackle by Phil Cracker, but the mark taken by Mahaja. Mahaja was in kicking distance. He'd be about 45 metres out from goal. Beasley making a lead. Mahaja has decided to ignore it. Going for his second. And off target, I think, one behind. Scoreboard, first semi-final reading, 124-88. And of course, if Footscray had been a little bit more accurate, perhaps their lead would be even greater. 6-7 in the second quarter and 5-8 in the third. Purser was the high flyer, but it comes down to the best man on the ground, in my opinion, and Doug Hawkins. Beasley on his own. I don't know where McCann was. What happened there, Bob? How come he got so far out in front?
Well, it was a missed kick for a start. I think McCann thought he was going to have a long shot at the goal.
I think it was a result of which way McCann went for the kickoff, and it came back a little bit quick for him.
So Simon Beasley for goal number 7. And a season's tally of 102. Kicking for dollars now. He's got a few more. 7 goals to Simon Beasley. Great performance from him. In stark contrast last week, when he was completely blanketed by Mew, 130-88.
7 goals, exactly the margin that face North Melbourne. And then we watched the Keith Gregg kicking in. Hawkins quick to take the ball, running the distance and just being pulled off low and almost got offloaded, and what you could say, a glorious miss kick.
That's right. That's why McCann wasn't there, really.
7 goals to Beasley, 4 to Royal, 2 to Edmund. The major goal kickers for Footscray. Mahaja has 1, likewise Daniels, Bandler and Hawkins. And for North Melbourne, 3 to Jim Cracker, 3 to Glendinning. And the remaining goal kickers are singles in North Melbourne's total of 13 goals, 10. 17 minutes gone, final quarter of the first semi-final. The shadows creep across the ground. And indeed, things looking dark for the Kangaroos. Mahaja got a nice hefty bump there from Law, perfectly fair.
Free kick. They grabbed him by the foot too, Pete.
Archer to take the free kick at left centre wing. Out wide for Edmund. Running with him is Wallace. Runs into Spargo. Just about a throw. Holt. Good tackle. That was by Wallace. He's played a good game today too. Umpire Glenn James deciding a bounce was the only solution to that. It will take place right half forward flank for Footscray. And there's certainly going to be a handful for Hawthorn next week. Knocked out by McDonald. Picked up by Malin. As Lou said, has played a very good game today. Keith Gregg clashes with Beasley. I don't think Gregg appreciated that too much. Beasley and McCann having a few words, bumping into each other. Gregg in the meantime going for a pass. Out comes Law. Law in short again. Phil Cracker at centre field. Dodges two Footscray opponents. Gets around Royal. Goes long up to half forward trying to find his brother. It rebounds Glendinning and Hawkins. Glendinning gets there first. Hawkins soccers it away, gets it out to Wallace. Glendinning still in pursuit, might win out. He decides to take a leaf out of his opponent's book, but it comes back to McLean. Over the head of Gronewegan. Hoops it long. Sewell, good mark. Sewell at half forward, would just about get the distance with this kick, but he's decided to go for a hand pass, gets it over to Royal. For goal number 5, if he's accurate, looks pretty good. And that really is the seal. Remember, we needed one. 5 goals to Royal. A great display of roving. 19-22, 136 to 13-10, 88.
And 3 of those 5 in this quarter. Lovely piece of play by Sewell. Very unselfish play by Wallace in the centre. He allowed Gronewegan, who had the run of the ball, to keep coming. And then after a great mark by Sewell, an equally good hand pass. And Wallace now just a little bit of extra speed to straighten up and put it through.
Sewell's been a pretty handy player today too, Bob.
Yes, he has, Luke.
Just on the 19.5-minute mark. 48 points the difference in favour of Footscray as Jimmy Cracker gets a wild kick out there towards half forward. McPherson and Phil Cracker having a battle. It's McPherson coming out the batter, kicks the ball off the ground out wide towards the half-forward line for Footscray. Down goes Smith, but he recovers pretty well. Takes the ball from that half-back line for North Melbourne over their half-forward line. There's 2 Footscray players there, but coming at the back was Glendinning, couldn't hold the mark. It's finally pushed back to the best player on the ground. Hawkins, a hand pass back to Foster. He runs straight into Holt, loses the ball, down goes a series, but the umpire said it'll be a free kick to Holt against Footscray because he was dropping the ball against Foster. 136 plays, 88 in favour of Footscray. And Glendinning flying high that time in front of McPherson, takes a good mark about 45 metres out from goal. He's already kicked 2 goals. That's a high kick, but it's off target and it's out of bounds on the full. So still 19 goals, 22, 136 Footscray. For North Melbourne, 13-10-88. Into the quarter by just on 21 minutes. So it's Footscray for sure. Another good kick in that time from North Melbourne's point of view, and marked here by McDonald. A quick hand pass coming over to Jonas, a left footer towards the goals. Hardy's there, so is Steele. Steele at the back, taps it down. But look at all those Footscray players in defence there as Daniels clears it out. And the mark taken once again by Jonas. Got a second chance to score, but it won't make the distance again, or will it? Let's see the result. Was Hardy behind the goals? Yes, he was. It's a goal. But it's a bit late. Jonas kicking a goal has been off the ground for at least half the match. 19-22, 136 Footscray to North Melbourne, 14 goals. 10.
94.
94.
On replay we see Jonas, and we'll just watch as we see Steele up high, and there was no doubt that when Hardy touched it, he was behind the line.
42 points the difference. There's the centre bounce again. Knocked out by McDonald. Grabbed away from his opponent that time, Purser. A long kick over the half-forward line. Keith Gregg comes out. And incidentally, Bob, this could be Keith Gregg's last game because North Melbourne look as though they'll miss out in the preliminary final as Crocker clears the ball out wide towards the wing position.
Yes, it is possible, Lou. It all depends how Keith feels over the summer, I would say, because he certainly has put in a good season.
Bit of fumbling going on by both sides, and the ball is finally forced out of bounds on that half-forward line for North Melbourne, but a heck of a way around from their goals, about 75 metres, just over the 22-minute mark. and the difference still 42 points in favour of Footscray. And Pete, I think for sure that it'll be Footscray playing Hawthorn next Saturday at VFL Park.
You can put the house, the boat, and the whole of Portsea on it, though. Foster in front. Picked up by McLean, got one a little bit too high, taken by Malin. Out to Hawkins. Oh, juggler! You get in the Australian cricket team with that effort. 8 marks and 32 possessions. On to McPherson. Sewell was the flyer there, couldn't come down with it. Out comes Keith Gregg. On to Hodgman. Short pass, Spargo. To right half forward flank for North Melbourne. 2-on-1 out there. Kennedy dragged off the ball. Was he in possession? The umpire said no. And Rick Kennedy will take the free kick for the Bulldogs. Been very solid in defence today. Certainly got a lot of go in him. Showed some real juice this afternoon. Purser. There he is again. Timmy Watson knocked up getting kicks yesterday. Doug Hawkins has done likewise this afternoon. Perfect pass to Sewell. The greatest of kicks, but Bamblett roams it beautifully. 10 metres out, and Bamblett 1 point, and I think he's kicked about 1-4 now. So a little bit off target, contributing to that 1923 tally, but 137 points, plays 94. Looks pretty good if you're a Footscray supporter at the moment. Over the head of Jonas. Dwyer with the run of the ball, short of right centre wing. He's gone for a short pass, and that's effective. The mark taken by Spargo, and that should be a 15-metre penalty surely against Brad Hardy. It will be. We almost got another one there. Spargo to Steele. Chain of hand passes ends with Matthew Larkin. Larkin has a long shot at goal. That's a pretty good sort of a kick, and I think he's put it through. Great goal from Larkin. His second goal. And North Melbourne bring up the ton now. 15-10, 100 to 1923, 137.
Yes, from one to the ground to the other without Footscray touching it. And we finish off with a lovely kick from Matthew Larkin. A nice play from Spargo and Steele.
Here it is again from another angle, Bob. Behind the goals. He wasn't too far away from the boundary line when he kicked that. Great shot at goal by Larkin, his second. We're approaching the time-on period now. 37 points the difference in favour of Footscray. And they will, of course, meet Hawthorn in the preliminary final next week. Jimmy Cracker's kick up towards his brother Phil now at half-forward. Back to Jimmy, the brothers firing. Glendinning marking in front of Foster, well within kicking distance, about 40 metres out, but on an angle.
You've got to give North Melbourne full credit, Pete. They're not throwing the sponge and they're still having a go.
Typical of Kennedy coaching, Lou. But it's a big gap, isn't it? With only a few minutes left to play. They won't throw the sponge in, certainly. But Footscray's good third quarter will be the match-winning one, as it was for Essendon yesterday. 1 point, Glendinning off target. 36 points in it, 6 goals. Brad Hardy brings the ball back.
Ball back out there towards the wing position. McLean was grabbed. Donny's back there as fairly. He spins out with the ball, goes for a short pass, and the ball marked here. Now he must have called play on to Hodgman because he had no out. It comes now to Jimmy Cracker. A hurried shot towards the goal, but Hardy moves in beautifully from that back pocket. No one within kill. He's got a chance to have one bounce. Short pass, and there's the man of the day. Hawkins taking the mark out there at half back. Good pass again. That's been the highlight of his game too, as well as getting kicks, the way he's presented the ball to his teammates too, Bob.
His disposal has been a delight to watch, Lou.
So it's Hardy out there, just doing as he likes as he clears the ball away from that wing position. A perfect pass there to Sewell, who's put in a pretty good game here today for Footscray. And he's a versatile player that can play him in many positions. The back there is Beasley couldn't hold the mark, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to McCann at full back. Into the quarter by 26.5 minutes. It's still 36 points the difference in favour of Footscray, as we see McCann get a 15-metre penalty. This brings him up between full-back and centre-half-back positions. It's a high kick out towards the wing. Hawkins again flies. Recovers well as he hand passes now out to Wallace. He's certainly bringing a lot of his teammates into the play as Bahajo has a long shot at goal, but Ramsey's in the way to take the mark in the back pocket position. Drops it short. Spargo's got a chance to make a mark, and he does out there at half back. But both sides just going through the motions now. There'll be a 15-metre penalty against Daniels for sure. But Footscray don't care because they've got it in the bag, and they'll be playing Hawthorn next Saturday at VFL Park in the preliminary final. As we see a mark drop that time by Larkins. He's grabbed, well tackled by... Cordy gave him one to go on with that too as he went to the ground, but I don't think we caught that. Picked up there by Kennedy, tapped there by Glendenning, but they get it away through Wallace. Out there at half-back, looking for Hawkins again. And there he is. That will be a mark, I should imagine. Yes, and holding the man, the umpire said. Another hand pass coming back to Jim Edmund, a left foot at a centre-half forward. And Royal, who's already kicked 5 goals, takes the mark at centre-half forward. Looking for a lead. He's kicked it out wide. There's Bahajo on his own. Moves away from Crocker. Ball dropping short. Greg couldn't pick it up. It's finally picked up here now by Hodgman. Drops the ball short, and the mark taken here by Smith at centre-half back.
Could be Hodgman's last game for North Melbourne too.
Well, he said he's going back to South Australia. We see Glenn Dinning grab the ball at the centre-half forward back position over to Holt. A long kick looking for Fairley. Gets under that one. A chance now. Oh, there's a great saving mark that time by Kennedy. So 28 and a half minutes gone to the last quarter. It's 137 Footscray for North Melbourne, 101 points.
This is McLean going for a short pass again. Out to the man of the match. Cordy from Hawkins. Back to McLean. Footscray really doing as they like at the moment. North Melbourne very dispirited and I presume pretty tired. Crocker to McCann. Smith fumbles. He's one of their good players last week. Still looking for a free kick, but not so, says the umpire. And it will be a bounce. You like that too much. At the 29-minute mark of the term.
You don't mind it when you're winning. When you're losing, you get upset about it, I'll tell you. Don't you, Bob?
McDonald beating Sewell for it.
What the scoreboard says certainly helps, doesn't it?
It certainly, it's inclined to fray the temper a little bit, Pete.
Once again, a bounce. Harger handing it back to the umpire. Sewell against McDonald. Knocked down to Ramsey. Onto Holt. Holt's kicked back inside the centre square. Picked up by McPherson, or nearly. Now he's got a second chance, but offloaded by Jonas. Handling the ball forward is Wallace. Just about got one in the back, but it does go out to McPherson. Taps the ball first and forward to Hawkins again. And gets one a little bit too high. Will be a free kick. Poor tackle.
It's a great tap on by McPherson. He's played a good, solid game down there in defence.
Here it is again. We watch it in replay. Too high.
This is his 38th possession for the match so far, Pete.
Yeah, statistician is running out of spaces on his board to put them in.
And that's about the only one that hasn't gone to a teammate.
Yeah, that's right. For North Melbourne. Smith goes for a pass to Larkin. Larkin at centre field to put North into attack. Siren due to go any tick of the clock as Jimmy Cracker takes the mark. Over to Steele. Steele from right half forward flank will go for the long shot. Kennedy in the road though and takes an easy mark in front of Fairley.
Well, as the game's progressed, this fella's got better all the time, and that's good news for Footscray for next week because Kennedy's a very handy defender, Peter.
Yes, very solid. Bit of going in. Hodgman. Kennedy again. Loses that one out. Big McDonald has a shot at goal. Well, Fairley it was, and Fairley has put it through. Fairley started at full-back, and a little bit of a dust-up again. Temper's becoming somewhat frayed. North Melbourne's 16th goal, 16-11, 107 to 19-23, 137.
So I'm sure Jimmy Edmund was saying then, just have a look at the scoreboard, but any Footscray player would be a fool to do anything wrong at this stage.
Especially at the 31-minute mark of the last quarter when they've got the match well and truly won.
That's exactly what I mean.
But there's always the guy that does the silly thing. We lost a player many years ago at Collingwood when they needed a player, a very vital player.
Number 9.
I'm not saying his number at all. You mentioned his number.
31 and a quarter minutes gone. Siren due to go any tick of the clock. 5 goals the difference. 137 to 107. And that break gained by Footscray during the third quarter. There's the siren for the end of the match. It will be Footscray and Hawthorn in the preliminary final next Saturday at VFL Park. Footscray convincing winners over North Melbourne. 19 goals, 23, 137, defeating North 16-11, 107.